No. Oh, this thing is wrong. There we go. There you go. Welcome back, folks. Things are getting dangerous. I'm going to talk about it. Sorry I'm a little late than usual. But gotta do what we gotta do. There's a lot going on. We actually had a lovely fire pit tonight, but I had to stop for this one. I was wondering what was going on. You know, I'm doing my day. We had a busy day. You know, wife and I had our date. We have a date scheduled on Saturdays. It's called going to the grocery store. it's it's so wonderful. Our oldest is able to babysit now, so shove them onto their screens, and then we we go pick out food. But actually, a lot of good deals and stuff, and we have set up an account with Azure, and we're going to be getting a crap load of flour for bread making, and kind of undo the inflation. We're going to start making our own crusts, pizza dough. Hat tip to the person that said we should take cheese sticks, like the string cheese, and roll that up into the crust itself. It's an excellent idea. We're going to make our own stuffed crust. I remember growing up, my mom used to make pizza. She'd make the dough. And of course, everything, that was 70s, 80s at that time. I think it was 80, 80s, early 80s. 80, 81, 82. Pizza was a very special thing you did. You went to the parlor, and they had like Space Invaders and all, back in the day. And now, everybody just orders pizza and it's delivered. Well, we're going to get back to the old creation of pizza and all that. Actually, I'd like to make my own sauce, too, eventually. So one thing, I didn't make a real big garden this year, but I did do a late tomato garden once we were kind of out of vacation stuff, and tomatoes are coming in. I actually tried my first one that actually got a little red, and very sweet, very good. So, but we got to talk about Slippery Dick over here. That, of course, is Mr. Dick Cheney. Tim, thanks a lot, man. Or Film Zealot, sorry. Yes, thank you. It was a good CR earlier today. It was a it was a long one. It was a little salty. So for those that haven't checked out the crisis report earlier today, it was jam-packed with as much as possible. So we're gonna actually parlaying off of what we had there, and then going. But I wanted to talk about this first. I could start to see it. I started to see things online, and someone had this picture of Dick Cheney in a blue shirt that said "Dicks for Harris," and clearly he's finding out that Dick Cheney has announced that he is going for Harris. He's a lifelong Republican, folks, and former president can never be trusted with power again. Obviously, this rich, I mean, honestly, Dick, why don't you shut up and just be happy that you're 83 years old? You had like 17 heart attacks or something like that. This guy has completely ruined entire regions. So, honestly, I think this is the greatest thing for Mr. Trump. Coming out, as they put it, his neocon lair. If I were the Democrats, I would say, please don't endorse us, to be honest with you. This is not good. This is not the person you want endorsing you for your presidential campaign. This guy is turned places that were semi-okay into glass parking lots and worse. And as you can see by the little girl right there screaming, covered in you know what, this is not the kind of guy that you want to endorse you. So, we all, I don't know, maybe you're not, maybe you're young and you don't remember what it was like watching the Iraq war. I was a Democrat at the time, back when they were actually anti-war, because I'm very much anti-war. I remember I went to marches and stuff early in the mid 2000s. I remember being at work and being announced that we were doing strikes on Afghanistan and yada yada yada. And then of course we started to try to take out Saddam Hussein. So Cheney is a piece of crap, for lack of a better way of putting it. He was the actual president, of course, when he and Bush were in office. You know, Bush was basically the face, but he's endorsing Harris, and he says that Trump can never be trusted with power again. I mean, if you look at the numbers and everything that's going on, I don't know how you would ever, you know, I mean, there's two main options, and Harris is representative of more and more and more trouble and inflation and all of these things that a lot of people are really hurting from, you know. I mean, we are completely redoing things in our house because of the way just the money is going. I mean, everything has gotten more exponential. Let me take you through some things that we're doing, okay? And technically, my wife and I are of a higher income because she's in the medical field. She's a nurse practitioner, okay? I just sometimes say doctor because it's easier to say it that way, but she's basically a doctor that can't cut into you, okay? Very good at what she does. You know, makes pretty good money. She's not making doctor money, but she's doing all right, you know. And me, I'm a educator, and I do all right. And we've got kids, and we put them through a Christian school because we want them to, you know, we could easily save that money and have it, and I would love to, but I don't think it's worth. I love my children and care about them more than my comfort. I would rather you know, kind of pinch and save every month to get them into this school and doing it, and I mean, I'm seeing all kinds of benefits from it. My middle daughter, who really started us on this journey because she was so devastated by all the BS of Rona, she came home and she's a math mind. She's not a reader. And so when she was learning to read during the Rona years, you know, online, it devastated her. And it really was something, I mean, it really could have taken her down a nasty path. And so we have worked and worked and worked and worked to get her back. And she came in on Thursday and Friday, and she got hundreds on her math test because she's a math mind. And she's super smart, but always thought she was dumb because it's been just really tough for her to learn to read. But I mean, you put a math anything in front of her, and she is like friggin' Rain Man. You know, she just has it. She has that ability. And she's the only one in her class that's getting like hundreds on all the math tests because it just comes easy to her. And she is beaming, you know, from all this. In fact, we're putting down sports ball tomorrow to finally rebuild our coops and redo our shed. And during all this, I'm letting her get a play date. I know you guys aren't here to hear my personal life and whatever, but it was cool to see it. But to go back to all this, we're you know, fighting to put her through, and we're trying to save money and do everything. And why? It's because the economy is terrible. So Dick Cheney, neocon warmonger POS, he is endorsing Harris, and she's got enough going on with the inflation and everything where we literally make our own bread. We make a lot of our own foods now. I want to start to make my own sauces. We made a crab soup tonight because we like this stuff. We like to go out and eat it when we're instead of going out, we're learning to make it at home. And now we're going to be doing all of our bread and prepping all of that. We're going to be doing, we want to make our own crackers because everything's so expensive. But when you take all the expense of everything and you put it in to the voters, or you ask voters, like, what is it that is making you not vote one way or the other. I mean, the economy, the economy, the economy. But when you start to add in this group and all of the nasty things they're doing, I mean, I have found article after article after article of all kinds of things that are of an utter concern with this group. Okay? So, Tren de Aragua, as someone put it, I think this is a better way to put it. People are like, oh, it's a gang and all that. I asked my normie wife, I said, have you ever heard of these people? What's going on? And she knew. So, it's out there. All right? When my wife knows about it, then it's mainstream. So, this guy tried to off somebody, and now he's out on $1,000 bail. And of course, if you were here the other night, Reuters is like, oh, there's nothing going on. This is a bogus story. But now it's come out through multiple places in multiple ways, and they can't stop it. This group is doing a lot of damage, and it's going to get worse. And there's a couple of stories and actually an incident tonight, that I think people should really start to pay attention to and have your head on a swivel when you're outside. So back to the whole economy thing. You know, Harris is finally starting to get pinned for this nasty economy. People are really hurting, and it's not helping them, but it's not really doing enough to make it so people are like, I'm going to go with Trump, even people that are anti-Trump. Well, I think this whole thing is really starting to kick people over into the other category. And so this story of the Denver apartment being taken over, and then other stories like it. There was a story from Chicago. And these are stories. They might be embellished. They might be, half-truth or whatever. But this story of these groups and this group called Tren de Aragua is really starting to get into the psyche of the American voter, and I really think they do know who to equate this whole thing with, and it's being devastating to the campaign. So they were arrested for shooting an attempted murder on July 28th in Nome Street Apartments. Is the group, the apartment in question, and now they're back loose on the streets. So why is that? Why would these people be allowed to go back on the streets? Now, I covered these guys on the crisis report. This Dixon Azuaje Perez and then his brother Nixon are two of the four Tren de Aragua gang members arrested by local police. Now people say, gang or whatever. Someone said that this isn't just a gang. This is actually a paramilitary group. And they are the shock troops of Maduro in Venezuela. And Maduro has basically sent them up here to cause chaos. And a lot of it is really starting to get moving. And I think we're going to see incidents get worse and worse and worse and more ubiquitous in ways that we're not used to as a society. We've had a lot of major events in the last 72, 96 hours, okay? And, people are on high alert. You had the Joppatown thing yesterday. You had the Appalachia on Thursday, I believe it was. Today on I-75, we're going to get there. There was a major event going on. And all of this is really devastating. I mean, people are going to start to get freaked out and worry about going out to just do basic things. My wife and I were out together, and we were, we went to Sam's Club, and we went to a couple other places. We're checking out, trying to buy, we're trying to do clean eating as much as possible. So we're getting away from a lot of the processing. We have walks every night, and we talk about this and we plot. That's why we want to make our own bread and our own crust, and just mainly do vegetables. Now we're starting, because she's really into it too. She follows a lot of podcasters on this, because she's seeing it in her job firsthand. There's a lot of people that are having major sicknesses occur to them because of what she thinks is what they're consuming. That's the only logical explanation, is that here in America, we're consuming poisons, for lack of a better way of putting it, through our food, through things that are preserving the food. And, we make bread and it's gone within a day or two. And we were talking about it tonight. And I said, well, think about like a regular loaf of bread. It lasts weeks, in certain situations. That's all because of preservatives. Our bread, when we make it, it's not as good, or, it's basically ready to become croutons within about 96 hours. So, but we eat it so good, we eat it so quickly, but like that's because of all the poisons. All these poisons are out there in our food, and they're making, not poisons, but preservatives and stuff that are sickening us, right? And so you take all that, and then you add in all of this right here. It's one thing to worry about your budget. It's another thing to worry about your just well-being out there. And we're out today doing our thing, rolling around, going to all the grocery stores on our date. What would happen? We were talking about that tonight. I was talking about, what would happen if something were to go down? What would it, how would I handle it? And she said she now kind of thinks about those same situations. So these are the guys, Janarty de Jesus Pacheco Cheninos, and then his brother Janarty, and then Dixon and Nixon Jose, gang members. These are, basically shock troops, really. They're now starting to come over. And it's, they've really tried to keep the lid on this story, but it's not happening. There's, this story came out, this guy was trying to come over from Canada. And, this is not unknown to officialdom. But of course, because of the current regime, they don't want people to know this. They just want you to kind of go about your business and not care, like everything's okay. But this is DOD, saying that this is a threat. That's the Department of Defense. They're dealing with militaries and stuff. So this really is starting to become more prevalent and ubiquitous all around us and all kinds of stuff. So it says, Tren de Aragua stated law enforcement officers are greenlit for attacks by members of the organization. I covered this a few weeks ago on the Crisis Report. I covered those 4 gang members today on the Crisis Report. Been covering this for a while, ever since Angry Prepper did the first video on it about a week plus ago. And great video. And I was just floored. I was like, man, this is bad. There's bad things. And of course, at that time, like, oh, this isn't going on. Nothing's going on. It's a figment of your imagination. 5,000 members of this group. They're all over Latin America, and now they're expanding up here. And these are not normal group members. These are the kind of play, like even MS-13 is like, man, we don't want to mess with these guys. I saw a video in Chicago tonight of some of the activities of what these guys are doing. This is a real problem. DOD says Tren de Aragua is the largest criminal organization in Venezuela with an estimated 5,000 members. Gang has expanded throughout Latin America and the United States amidst the Venezuelan refugee crisis, which is basically them going in there, getting mad at America because Maduro thinks that we're intervening in the election. So he said, all right, take all these guys out of jails and start to give them passage up to the north to go to America to do what they do. So, growth of the gang following the migration of Venezuelans to host nations. Current global events, monetary gains, criminal interests may drive this gang to target DOD facilities. Now, why would these gang members be going after the Department of Defense facilities? Covered it on the other night. They're going after our oil and gas facilities. Why? I don't remember hearing stories of MS-13 or the Crips and the Bloods or whatever gang you want to put in here going after critical infrastructure. And by the way, there's people that are thinking like the Hells Angels are going to go take these guys on. That's not going to happen. I think that whole thing was a fabrication. I really do. I can't prove it. But as soon as I saw it and people started to show me, I was like, really? Do you really think the Hells Angels are going to do anything? No. Not right now. Not in the current state of things. But TDA currently or consistently exhibits violent behavior. Increasing concerns grows for law enforcement. You've been greenlit to attack, our police. So they're establishing a foothold in key neighborhoods of Brooklyn and the Bronx. I have lived in Brooklyn and not too far away from Williamsburg. Williamsburg is technically Brooklyn. I lived in lovely East Williamsburg, which is northwest Bushwick. Estimated 400 members currently residing in the areas. I mean, that's a lot of members. It's not a lot of real estate. 400 of those guys could do a lot of damage. So this is all coming out. This is from James O'Keefe. But of course, they're reporting that there's National Guard all over the city. Why would that be? Well, probably what happened was the word got out that this guy was trying to come over from Canada, Pakistani, I believe, and he was planning on doing an event on 10/7/24 that would commemorate the things going on 10/7/23 in Israel. Okay, New York City has a lot of Jewish people, so concerning in that. So probably get National Guard there just in case, to kind of just make sure everything's okay. I lived in New York City for 8 years. There's been times where you would see National Guard there. I remember I used to go in and out of Grand Central, and a few times there was National Guard there sitting there with the M1s, and it's New York. You do what you do. You go down the street, you go to your work, and it is what it is. But yeah, there's Army personnel stationed outside buildings. They're questioning the presence of the location. Why were they stationed at a hotel? One soldier bluntly responded, "We're here at the request of the state of New York." Okay? So there's a presence all over. There's a presence in Denver. There's a presence in Chicago, supposedly. There's a presence up on the Canadian border trying to get in the country in northern stretch. I think it was Vermont they're trying to get into. There's obviously a presence in the Bronx and Brooklyn. Where else? Where else are these people? So, Army CUI documents reveal expanding threat of Venezuelan criminal organization. O'Keefe Media, OMG, has gotten all this, if you want to get into more. But it's expanding and getting worse. So they're warning of this coming chaos, okay? And here's one of our new neighbors here, right? Wonderful. So think about it. You're living in Denver. You're living in New York. You're living in Chicago. You're living down in Texas. I believe San Antonio and areas of Texas have warned about this. But you're used to this because the new neighbors are streaming over the border there anyway, so you're the first pit stop of these guys coming up from the south. People are concerned. This is going to affect things. And if you're worried that there's going to be some kind of like major escalation in 5th gen war, which is effectively what this is, you're going to say, hey, I need a law and order president. And I mean, this is going to not do well for the Democrat Party. And the reason why is because people don't see them, first and foremost, after the defund the police thing a few years ago. They don't really see them as the party of law and order. Dick Cheney has come out and said, basically, I'm voting for Harris. So now they're kind of seen as the warmonger party. You've got the whole inflation thing going on, and now you got these pieces of shit coming over the southern border doing home raids. There's a home raid in Baltimore. Now, it's a Chilean group, but, I mean, I don't give a crap if they're from Venezuela, Chile, or friggin' Mars. So, I mean, I'm like doing, I've done a area study of our little enclave here. And it's funny. Some of the positioning of our house, I think, are good and some's bad. We're out in the country, sandwiched between a couple farms, but at the same time, we're out in the country, and these guys are going to people's homes, and, our house is visible. What if these guys really start doing, like, home raids and stuff? I mean, they're not stupid. I mean, where are you going to go? You're going to go to the rich neighborhoods, and you're going to start raiding homes because the homes are going to have money. The homes are going to have people that are not used to that kind of thing. What happens? There's a great article on castle doctrine today. You might want to look up your state's castle doctrine. I live in the Communist Republic of Maryland. I don't have castle doctrine. I have the right to retreat, as they say. I married a Maryland girl. What am I going to do? Sorry, guys. I tried. I tried to the best of my ability to get her over that border, and I can see West Virginia from not too far away from here. I tried. She didn't want to. She wanted to live in Maryland. She's a Maryland girl. Loves crabs. We had crab tonight. Loves a Maryland girl. No castle doctrine in Maryland. I don't care. You break into my house, I'm going to use extreme prejudice because I've got 2 little girls, and if I spend the rest of my life in jail protecting them, I have absolutely zero problem with that whatsoever. So fuck around and find out if you want to come over here. These guys are coming, as they say. They're coming. Videos are being released on social media showing the members carrying handguns, larger weapons. They're using tire irons to force their way in. They're going in to buildings. Popular YouTuber named Nick Shirley paid a visit to the complex, asked the people what was going on. They told him that the landlord recently stopped collecting rent as the gangs and the mafia are taking advantage of all of us to get us out as if we're dogs. What do you do with that? What do you do with that? So let's just go back. Let's take this back. These people shouldn't be here, okay? They shouldn't be allowed to come. They shouldn't be allowed to come. Why? Because idiot. They shouldn't be allowed to come here. But they are. They're coming streaming over. Why? Because they only care about their fucking power. That's all they care about. They don't give a crap about you. They don't give a crap about your kids. They don't give a crap about your money, your future, your life, anything. They don't care. They don't care. All they care about is their power. That's it. So all of this is going on right now. It's happening in Aurora, Denver. It's happening in Texas. It's happening in Chicago. It's starting to spread to New York. Where else? Where are we going to? We're going to go to Miami, Florida. Where are we going out next, folks? Los Angeles. You know they're in Los Angeles. So they're coming up here. They're coming up here en masse. My big concern now is that it's going to go from these larger cities where a lot of us have embedded have removed ourselves from. We've removed ourselves. We were in the outskirts of D.C., and I at least got my wife to move much farther west We are almost 2 hours away from there now. And yeah, this happened tonight. Hat tip to Conserve Friends for alerting me to it. Active shooter off of I-75. I-75 is a major thoroughfare. It goes all the way up into to Michigan. I think it's Detroit all the way down through to like Toledo, Dayton, Cincinnati. Goes down. I've taken it many times. I used to live in Ohio. And then on down all the way to, I believe, Alabama. Major interstate. London, I think exit 49, they said. So it's about 45 minutes north of Tennessee and Kentucky. This is a very, southern, rural, not super rich area. And some guy just starts shooting. Now, I don't know if these guys are, Tren de Aragua. I don't know. I don't know if there's just some, jerk face. Who knows? But this is the kind of event I think people should start to now play in their mind as a possibility. Okay? I'm not saying this happened because of new neighbors, but I'm saying this is the kind of thing where they're going to start to actively manipulate and to sow chaos. Because, again, you're in a fifth-gen war. We're in World War III right now. We're fighting against Iran. We're fighting against Venezuela. Fighting against Russia, China, and anyone who, calls themselves their buddy. And it's, you're going to see planes dropping bombs on us? No, but you're going to see, Nixon and Dixon or whatever their names are coming over and taking over an apartment complex and busting into people's houses in nice neighborhoods in the outskirts of major city USA and doing some nasty things. And you might just see an occasional shooting on an interstate from time to time. Yeah, I think you're going to see the prevalence, the frequency, if you will, start to get worse and worse and worse. I believe it. 7 people injured, not all from gunfire. Suspect still at large. So this guy, person of interest in the shooting, exit 49. The information regarding the whereabouts, the location on this individual. Start calling. So, clearly this guy is Caucasian, so they're gonna manipulate. They're gonna this thing is gonna be all over forever. But who knows? That might be incorrect. It might be correct. I don't know. And it doesn't matter who this person is. The matter is that you're going to start to see these kind of events happen more frequently. You're going to start to see all kinds of terror events, I think, happen more and more. They're definitely on the uptick in Europe. There was the Israeli consulate. It was right next to it. It was kind of by, actually, it was the, effectively this group would go out and find former members of the National Socialists of the 1940s type in Germany, and then they go and find these people and bring them to justice. But they were pretty much tied with the Israeli consulate. They had a shooting. Guy was stabbed today or yesterday or whatever in Germany. There was a young girl, 12 years old, that was accosted in a sexual way in a pool. They didn't arrest him. They know who the guy is, but they let him go because he's special. He's a new neighbor. But they did ban him from the pool, so that's the good news. So he can't go swimming anymore. He can take out your 12-year-old daughter and do nasty things to her, but the guy is banned from the pool, so that's going to stop it. My point is that the government, the law enforcement under the current regime that is out there running the show in Western Europe, America, and Australia, they don't care. They don't care. So things are going to get nasty. And what happens? I mean, as I said, all they care about is power. That's it. It's all it's about to them. Power, power, power. So if they are threatened with losing their power in, say, a popularity contest in about 65 days, what do you think they're going to do? Seriously. So there it is right there. I believe pinball is somewhere in this area, right? Pinball. I mean, this is going to get worse and worse. So numerous people shot near I-75 Laurel County. Kentucky State Troopers confirmed the shooter is at large. No update here. Zero Hedge is pretty good with all this. I don't know if the guy has been found. Hopefully this guy is not Tren de Aragua. My read is that he's not. But Joseph A. Couch needs to be brought to justice. Okay? Just like the Nixon and Dixon boys need to be brought to justice for taking over a apartment complex. And when you're out and you're doing your thing and you're in public, folks, you need to be swiveling. In fact, you might even want to have things on you to protect yourself that can go a couple thousand feet per second. Because this is getting nastier and nastier and nastier and nastier and nastier. People are not happy with the way things are going right now. The inflation was bad, but now we've got active paramilitary people, in my mind. I could be wrong. Active paramilitary people, or at least gang members, that are coming up and causing chaos. You know, going into our critical infrastructure, like oil and gas. Going and having the green light to go after police and law enforcement officials. Department of Defense putting out alerts saying this group is really violent. You need to be worried about it. Taking over apartment complexes so they can run scams on taking people's rent, you know. Chad the Impaler, thanks so much, man. I appreciate that, brother. Yep. The American dream is leaving. Yes, it is leaving America. In fact, it's becoming the American dream is becoming an American nightmare. Extremely concerning what is going on. Guy from Pakistan was coming over the border, Vermont. He had plans. Do what they call one of the largest events since 9-1-1. This is going to get worse. There's going to be more of these. I mean, it's inevitable. They're telling us there obviously is more of these. And, you know, the biggest problem is that the people that are in control, they don't really seem to give a crap. If anything, their whole focus is to take these events and use it to take away more rights, whether that's First or Second Amendment, and do things so we can't protect ourselves. That's why sitting here in Maryland, I can't do what I should have the God-given right to do, which is to protect my family with all that I have, whatever that may look like, if someone were to come here and to do terrible things. I think that's a human right. State of Maryland doesn't think so. So, this isn't going to help Kamala. But, you know, like I said, as we get closer to this, the popularity contest, I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to do anything they can to hold on to power. They only care about power. That's it. I used to say it when I first started this channel. They kick your toddler in the stomach for more power. They would. They don't care. They don't care about any of us. That's a terrible way to be. We pay a lot of taxes. They pay a lot of taxes over in the United Kingdom. They pay a lot of taxes in Australia. They pay a lot of taxes in Europe. These are places that should be safe, secure, and a lot of nasty things are happening, and there's really no way to stop it. And people are trying to vote their way out of this. You know, they're like, oh well, I'll get, France. I'll vote for the National Rally, right? We'll get them in. What does Macron do? He pulls this crappy, weak coup d'état type maneuver, and he's getting threatened with getting ousted, impeached, and he puts in this Barnier guy, but it's going to get worse. Schultz's government, the guy has an 85% disapproval. It's probably even worse in the United Kingdom. I mean, you have friggin' Putin saying, if you're in a Western country and you're not feeling protected or loved, you can come on over to Russia. And I bet there's some people that are like, that sounds like a great idea. Now, don't do that. It's not better there. It's not. But, we got to manage this crap here. We got to get a hold on this here. And I hope voting does it. I hope. But, we've got older parents that can't protect themselves. Some of us have young children like I do. That I'm worried. Not just about, going out in public, but, what the hell kind of world are they going to get in? Where, if it's this bad now, where are we going to be in 10 years, 20 years? Because I remember 10 and 20 years ago. There are some concerning things, but it's nothing like now. Nothing. I mean, there's 70, 65 days left. So, I don't know what you're doing to prepare, but I would suggest being ready for whatever. So, it says if voting worked, the elites would. Yeah, exactly. That's Stalin's chief of police, whatever it was, Beria, said, it's not who votes, it's who counts the votes. You're correct, Chad. Thank you. You're right. I'm mentioning this because I think there are some people that think, oh, well, we'll get the right person in and it'll all work out. I don't know. I don't know about that. I hope, but yeah. So I don't know. Go check out your castle doctrine laws. Maybe you're in a state that's good with that. Maybe you're not. Check out your options. See what you can do. But we are getting warnings when we're seeing incidences and we are seeing all kinds of new problems. I believe that we're going to be hit with major attacks of varying degree from all over. And it's not just going to be TDA from Venezuela. It's also going to be, angry people that are not able to make it right now because of the current economic status. All kinds of threats are going to be out there. I mean, as Gerald Salent said, when people lose it all, they lose it. There's a lot of people are going to be losing it, I think. We're in a really, really terrible place right now in this country. So I pray that the people that were attacked, shot, whatever, in Kentucky are on the mend. I pray that the people that were taken over in the apartment complex in Aurora are getting things back together and can live in safety. And I pray that our law enforcement can hopefully stop this growing threat, but I don't see how it's going to happen. So we are our first responders. Okay, folks? If you like what we're doing here, you can become a member, $2 a month. We have a growing list of people there. Or you can follow the links in the description for other places. People like Bad Bobber are members. $2 a month. It's less than coffee now. So, and I put out a lot of material. So I appreciate you. Thanks to my mods. Kill it and grill it. It's good to see you again, brother. It's been a little while. Mamacita, thank you for being here late, but we're going to cash it in. Go to bed. Wake up tomorrow, go to church. Fix our chicken coop. Make our own bread. And manage this new normal. So, good luck out there, folks. God bless you all. And we'll see you on the next one.